Poll after poll after poll says Joe Biden wins the debate. It is clear. The reliable sources have told us Trump was utterly defeated. If that were the case, why would leftists and Democrats already be telling Joe Biden, don't debate anymore? Don't go back in there with Donald Trump. You know why? Joe Biden maybe won the debate in some capacity. I don't know, maybe the polls are saying that. There are many polls saying that, sure. But in terms of his demeanor, Joe Biden decided to jump down into the weeds with Donald Trump, and he made himself look bad. He came off as rude and weak at the same time. And if his whole argument was stop Donald Trump, elect me, and we'll return to normal, he just threw that out the window. He called Trump a clown, a racist, told him to shut up, and he's been criticized for it. He's just doing what Trump does, but he's nowhere near as good at it as Trump is. See, Trump is the WWE guy. He goes into the ring and he's like, he's pointing at the crowd, he's flexing his muscles, and he is coming at you. He is interrupting you. And Joe Biden couldn't handle it. So maybe there's a policy issue. But you know what? I'm going to tell you this. I think Donald Trump won because he chased Joe Biden down. And now when people are actually saying don't debate him again, unless we change the rules, it shows you that Joe Biden doesn't have the strength to be president. Look, we can talk about policy all day and night, but I think the American people are a bit more shallow than that. I don't mean that disrespectfully. I mean, when I talk to my friends, they're confused by all of this. Nobody knows who the Proud Boys are. Nobody knows who Antifa is. This is culture war weeds. I was talking to a friend earlier after I recorded some segments, asking me a million questions. I don't understand what this is. Who's this group? What do they want? What do they need? And I'm like, if Joe Biden throws out the name Proud Boys and Donald Trump talks Antifa and regular people are just shrugging, saying, what does that to do with me? Then nobody really won. And according to pollster Frank Luntz, undecided voters are actually encouraged not to vote by the whole thing. Now, Trump isn't doing himself any favors. He is coming off rude and like a bully. But this is why I say I think it's more beneficial to Trump. You see, Joe Biden right now is facing questions about whether he should skip the next debates. I kid you not. The dude already looks weak and confused. You cannot throw this in his face. And it's coming from Democrats, not the Trump side. Now, there's been an announcement. They are going to change the rules. How sad for Joe Biden. He couldn't handle it. Trump just interrupted him too many times. And you can say Trump is a bully and undecided voters are. But I got to say, man, at least where I'm coming from, and this may be just me, if I had to choose between the guy who gets cut off and the guy who is cutting people off as the leader of the armed forces, I'm probably going to pick the guy who's interrupting and cutting people off. You know why? It's not a great thing to go on, to be completely honest. But the president is the commander in chief. Joe Biden can whisper all the sweet nothings into my ear he wants. It's not going to be enough if I don't think he can actually pull it off. And I don't think he can. I think Trump can repair the economy. And I think the American people have a pretty crummy option right now. Look, I was explaining this to my friend. I think Trump is okay. I think these peace deals, withdrawing from the Middle East and his work on the economy have greatly benefited us. But he's kind of a dick. He's like, he's just not a good dude. He's funny in a lot of ways. But Joe Biden's trying to be that same thing. And we've had 8 years of the Obama administration, 47 years of Joe Biden. Sorry, he hasn't proved anything to us. In the end, what really matters, in my opinion, not the polls, it's whether or not Trump can prove he's strong enough to be commander in chief, or whether or not people just hate Trump a whole lot. We don't exactly know how it's going to turn out, but I'm going to jump into the data anyway, because as much as all of the polls are saying Biden is the clear winner, there's one poll that matters. Telemundo. Among Hispanic and Latino voters, Donald Trump took 2/3 of that polling, meaning 66%, according to Telemundo, said Trump won. If Trump can gain 16 to 18 points from the Latino vote and nothing else changes, he wins. And I'm going to show you the data. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll lose too many working class whites, college educated whites. Maybe he'll lose in the black community, but I do not believe that. I believe that for all of Trump's faults, you've got a bunch of people face palming going, I'm going to vote for that guy. Some people feel the same way about Biden, but Trump has made gains. In 2018, the New York Times said it. But let's go through the data before I keep prattling on. Before we get started, Head over to timcast.com/donate if you'd like to support my work. There are many ways you can give. There is a P.O. box if you want to send me stuff. But the best thing you can do is share this video. If every single one of you right now shared this, I would be bigger than the mainstream media like that. But if you don't think I deserve it, then, by all means, don't. Just at least subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. Let's read the story. Politico reports Biden campaign faces questions about whether he should skip the next debates. The campaign insisted he would participate in the final two, but some Democrats said he should demand rule changes. This just shows weakness. Come on, man. Joe Biden looked weak. I'm quoting the Joe Biden thing. Come on, man. He looked weak on stage. You can insult Trump all you want. It doesn't matter if Biden comes off like a frail old man who needs special rules to actually stand up to Trump. And that's exactly what's happening. The commander-in-chief is about more than just policy ideas. They're literally the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And this is what we get. The moment Joe Biden's first debate against Trump ended, his campaign was already confronted with questions about whether it should be his last. In the two men's first head-to-head matchup, Trump bullied moderator Chris Wallace, blew past his time limits, and repeatedly and loudly interrupted Biden. It resulted in a mockery of presidential debates, growing so chaotic that it was impossible to follow entire segments. Fact. Let me tell you, Donald Trump got it wrong on several policy issues, and I was really disappointed. He could have clearly and unequivocally denounced white supremacy on the debate stage in front of America. Now, I know Trump has denounced it time and time again, but you are on the defense, Trump. You are the president. They are lying about you. It was your job to say, who do you want me to denounce? Done. F them. Don't care. But he said, sure, he would. I'm prepared to, but what about Antifa? And then he told the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by. And they're going to play up to that. But you know what? In the end, I'm not super concerned it's going to matter. I got a message on Facebook from a friend saying, what are the Proud Boys? And I was like, dude, don't bother Googling it. If you don't know, it's culture war weeds, man. Okay. We're in the know. We're politicos. We get it. But my friends who live in Chicago, who are not even fans of Trump, are just like, I don't know what that is and how I'm supposed to feel about it. So it's ineffective messaging. And that's what they're going for. On the other side, what does somebody see when they're not political? They see Trump standing up there yelling. And I don't mean like yelling belligerently. They see somebody straight up being like, I know, I'm smarter, I have the ideas, you don't. These people, these Democrats, don't understand sales. Let me tell you something before I'll read more of this. I used to do nonprofit fundraising. I used to literally walk up to people and I would say, here's why I want you to donate. And I'll tell you, there's one thing, one of the most important rules in convincing someone. Words are your ammunition. And if you spout them all off at once, you've spattered the wall and you've got nothing left. And then comes the rebuttal. What you want to make sure you can do is always have a fast response, because regular people need to have their doubt. They want to feel that you know what you're talking about and they trust you. If I saw a salesman come up to me and he said, I'm selling this here widget. And I said, what does it do? Well, it helps. It's good, I guess. Okay, well, I heard it's bad. Well, I don't know. I'm going to be like, I'm not confident in that guy. If he comes up and no matter what I say, he responds he has something in the bag. I'm going to be like, well, he's covered all the bases. I got nothing else to say. It's not about if your idea is good. It partly is, but it's about how you present that. I bring you now to the debate where Joe Biden would talk and Trump would slam him down. Wrong, no, wrong. Just like he did to Hillary Clinton. And that's why they're saying, Biden, don't do it again. Now they poll people. Who do you think won? What do we get? Well, they say over and over again, exclusive poll, Biden won the debate convincingly. We have this from Google, debate poll. Who won? 6 in 10 say Biden today. Biden. We get it. Joe Biden. Then we have this one. I love this. Washington Post. Reliable polls show that Biden won the debate. So those aren't what Trump allies are highlighting. Duh. Trump supporters are like, boom, we won. Anti-Trumpers are like, boom, Biden won. And it's pointless, okay? I'm going to try and go more in depth. At least that's the best I can say. Trump messed up on a lot of issues, but I think at the core of this, you're going to have people who either Trump comes off too strong like he's a jerk and they're not going to like him, or Biden comes off too weak and they're going to say, I don't want that guy to be my president, man. That's kind of how I feel on the surface. Now, of course, I understand the significance of the Middle East peace deals that Trump has accomplished and the wars the Obama-Biden administration got us involved in. And I'm right away just like, I don't care. Joe Biden could come out and promise me a check for $1,000 and I'm going to be like, sorry, dude, the wars need to end. That was Trump, not you. You made it worse. Now, the Proud Boys, the average person is going to be like, I don't know what that is. But take a look at this. Kayleigh McEnany says, verdict, Trump wins. C-SPAN, Trump 53% to Biden's 29. Telemundo, Trump 66 to Biden 34. CNN, 3 votes Trump, 1 vote Biden of decided voters. I'm sure you can say they're unreliable. The C-SPAN poll was just a Twitter poll, so certainly not reliable. But this is the one that I think is the most important. This is the one from Telemundo. 66% of Spanish-speaking Americans in Telemundo poll think Trump just won the debate. Did Trump just win a massive chunk of the voting bloc of Spanish speakers in this country? Because that could be his victory. I'm going to show you the results of this, but I've got to highlight something. Well, check this out. The commission will make changes. Congratulations, Joe Biden. Doesn't this make him look weak? That's sad, man. Now, look, CNN and everybody were saying it was a dumpster fire of a debate. But was it a dumpster fire because Trump just wouldn't let Joe Biden talk? So okay, let me put it this way. You put 2 guys in a room, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, and Trump walked all over this guy. And now you're going to change the rules because Joe Biden couldn't hang with Donald Trump. To me, it just sounds like Joe Biden is handicapped. And I mean that in a sporting sense. Like they're calculating, okay, Donald Trump interrupted how many times? What's the handicap? Let's set Joe Biden up to a 7. He needs help. We better change the rules because clearly he can't handle it. So what? Trump is rude? He's a bully? Yeah. Do you want someone who's going to be overbearing and strong representing your government? I bet a lot of people will. Do you want a guy who can't handle that? Think about this. Let's say Joe Biden walks up to Vladimir Putin and he goes, come on, Putin, it's time to negotiate. And then Putin just starts snapping at him and yelling at him. And Biden goes, can I get help to change the rules about? No, because when you're actually doing a negotiation with a world power and a foreign leader, nobody's going to change the rules for you, dude. If you can't handle Donald Trump, I don't want you handling Kim Jong Un or Vladimir Putin. And they want to drag Donald Trump saying that, he is ponying up to these dictators. So you mean that Donald Trump has found a way to manage them? I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I'll tell you this, it's better than cowering before them. I'm not necessarily saying that's what Obama or Biden did. I'm saying when Biden gets to that negotiation, he's at the World Security Council or whatever, the UN. He's sitting in front of Xi Jinping and Xi just sits back and says, no, wrong. Biden, you're wrong. And Biden's just like, come on, man. What, man, shut up. Come on. And then what? Angela Merkel's going to be like, we're going to change the rules so that you get a fair shake. And my accent's probably terrible. It's more like a Greta Thunberg. Anyway, you get the point. Is that what people are going to see? I have to wonder. So they're changing the rules. It's remarkable. But I want to bring it back to this. Will Donald Trump win as data suggests? This is just one of the polls. And as I show you, most of the polls say Joe Biden won. That's significant. I don't know if the polls are going to be right, but I'll mention one more thing, too. I know a lot of people said the polls were wrong in 2016, therefore Trump is going to win. Let me warn all of you. The polls were wrong by like 3 or 4 points. They're now off by like 6 or 7, okay? Maybe they're wrong, but maybe it's still bad news for Trump because it's I don't know what the polls mean, man. I got to be honest. I look at the Real Clear Politics average and it's like one poll is like Trump +4 and the next one's like Trump -20. And I'm just like, dude, I have no idea how I can try even bother speculating. So we'll leave it there. But let's take a look at this poll. 66% of Spanish-speaking Americans in Telemundo poll think Trump won the debate. Let's operate under the assumption that this 66% will actually translate into votes. I bring you now to NBC News's Swing the Election. Right now, they say, see how changes in voter turnout and support could shift the outcome of the 2020 election. All of this right here, I've shown this before, They say start with the results of the previous election, adjusted for demographic change since 2016, then adjust the sliders to see how shifts in the turnout and support among different demographic groups could swing the Electoral College. See the scenarios below. As of right now, based on demographic change and the 2016 vote, they say Joe Biden will win with 307 electoral votes to Trump's 231. 4 states have flipped since 2016. But of course, it makes no sense that this would stay the same. Trump has either proven himself or he's failed, so it could go up or down. Based on the people I've talked to, in my personal opinion, I think Trump's support is going to be higher. A lot of people said they wouldn't vote for him, but then the economy did really, really well. And the New York Times just published a story the other day about a secret Trump voter, a woman in her 50s, a Democrat in Manhattan who is a lesbian voting for Donald Trump. Why? It's the economy, stupid. But let's play this game with Latino voters. We can see right here, Latino voters have, Trump has 28%. What do you think's going to happen if I switch that to 66? Let's find out. From 28 to 66% support among Latino voters. And there it is. Okay, 66%. Trump wins the popular vote and 326 electoral votes. But of course, just because 66% say he won the debate doesn't actually mean that's how many people are going to vote for him. That would be absurd. I'm sure there's a ton of them who are like, wow, Biden got obliterated, but Trump's still bad not voting for him. What point does Trump need to get to among only Latino voters to win? In fact, it's around 16 to 18 points. At 44% of Latino vote, Trump still loses the major party votes, but he wins the electoral votes, 286 to 252. Not as good as his win in 2016. But if Trump can get 16 to 18%, I say that because some have argued that Trump's support among Latinos has gone down. I don't believe so. I believe, according to several polls, he's actually improved. But let's play something else. I want to show you something else. Let's put it back to 28. All right. Let's say that Donald Trump, who got 8% of the black vote in 2016, gets just 3% more. We can see Joe Biden still wins, and at 5 points, Donald Trump wins 5% more. So I think I was wrong. I've mentioned this before. I think I was wrong in the past. It's 5% more. But let's say he only gets 3% more of the black vote, and then he gains only a few more points. If he gains, wow, I didn't even see that coming. If Trump gains only 2 points among Latino voters, 2 after that debate performance, and 3% of the black community, Donald Trump wins. You can talk about who won the debate. You can talk about who's better on policy and who's not. But Trump only needs to win tiny fractions of certain demographics to actually win. This is why I think they're going so hard on Proud Boys and white supremacy and racism. They are desperate to try and get the minority communities, Latinos and black voters, not to vote for Trump. But Trump, we've seen it in several polls. I mean, several, like Emerson, for instance. His standing among minority voters is going up. Rasmussen shows him going way up. It may be a foregone conclusion. It doesn't matter about college-educated whites, although they are one of the more powerful voting blocs because they make up a larger percentage, if Trump is already winning these groups. Now, here's where I find it fun. GOP pollster sees Trump-Biden debate as embarrassing, says it encouraged people not to vote. Anybody telling you, my guy won? No, sorry, man. That's just not the case. I think the one thing Trump has going for him is that he's a bully. I don't know if it, look, I trust the Frank Luntz view of things better than I trust anybody else, because when I see all these leftists being like, I can't believe Donald Trump did that. Oh, Joe Biden told him to shut up. I'm like, dude, Joe Biden didn't win. Trump was running circles around him. But Trump did look really bad because he's kind of a dick. You know what I mean? I think Trump's a better choice. But I think you're going to see the tribalists just screaming, my side won, woohoo, just like they always do. They did it with Hillary. They do it with Bernie. They're doing it with Trump. What Frank Luntz is seeing is that people just don't want to vote. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. But I think there's going to be record voter turnout. Now, here's the problem, okay? The Democratic Party is bigger than the Republican Party. The Republican Party has been catching up in terms of voter registration because people have been leaving the Democratic Party, and that's according to Axios. But Some people are leaving the Democrats. Some people are switching parties, and walk away is real. It's not defeating Democrats, however. Democrats are still registering more voters in key states. So it's good news for Republicans, but if undecided voters and middle of the road voters don't start supporting Donald Trump and the Republicans, they're not going to win. And based on all this data, assuming it's true, Trump might win. I don't think the Republicans are going to hold the Senate or the House. Democrats are going to take over. This is going to prove Antifa right, that their tactics worked. They're going to continue to be violent, and the American people will suffer for it, and that will be too bad. These people, these businesses that are getting looted and ransacked, that then say, but we support the movement. Well, okay, then what do you, I'm not going to come and support you. Okay, I'm not going to defend your business if you're cheering them on while they do it. It's like if you watch them destroy your stuff and you cheer for it, I can only assume you wanted it to happen. That's what I can say. The only thing I can say for the American people. Now, again, according to Frank Luntz, we have this story. Undecided voters call Trump bully and Biden better than expected after debate. That's another issue for Trump. The bar was set really low for Biden. He needed only not pass out. And that was it. Now, unfortunately for Biden, he started playing that game, and now he's getting roasted for it. Check this out. Piers Morgan, rude, doddery Biden won this shameful, humiliating sham of a debate, but only because vile Trump and impotent moderator were even worse. And the biggest losers from this mudslinging fiasco were the American people. That was the argument, right? Vote for Biden to bring everything back to normal. Nah, Joe Biden insults people. He's just not nearly as good at it as Trump is. Remember when he yelled at that union guy? Go vote for Trump then, because he was worried about gun control. How about the guy's like, look, fat? Oh, he didn't actually say fat. I don't care. Joe Biden's a mean dude. He's like, listen, Donald Trump may be nasty to those nasty to him, but Trump's not going to walk up to one of his own supporters who questions him and insult him. Trump's going to walk up, shake the hand and say, well, what should we do then? Trump loves his supporters and loves his base. Joe Biden, he insults people. There was one person, I remember it was a guy who questioned him on immigration. And then Biden just goes, then go vote for Trump. And he's like, but no, I want to vote for you. Go vote for Trump. Sure, go vote for Trump. Rude, doddery Biden won, says Piers Morgan, only because Trump was worse. But what you got to understand is that people like Piers, he may be right, okay? But he is an ivory tower elite. Like, listen, I'm not going to pretend like I'm some, working class Joe. I certainly came from humble beginnings. I don't know what a carpenter is thinking, but I can tell you this. When I talk to my friends who are apolitical, they're confused by all of this. All they know is Joe Biden got stepped on, and that's all they see. And they're like, but does that make Trump bad? That's the important factor. Because if Donald Trump comes off too harsh, and maybe that was the point of having doddery old Biden just go, because they want Trump to look like he's going too hard against a poor old man. You can make Trump look strong against someone like Hillary Clinton, who everyone despised. And you can make Trump look like a mean bully if you put him up against a sad old man. Leave Biden alone. It might work. It absolutely might. But Joe Biden isn't earning himself any favors when he says, will you shut up, man? Nope. Joe Biden should have, I'll say this. It's a difficult position for Joe Biden when Trump is interrupting nonstop. It absolutely is. But Joe Biden did not know how to handle it. And that's it. Trump's in the WWE arena, baby. And you don't know the rules, then you are going to lose. And that's all I can say for Joe Biden, man. So here, let's talk about critical race theory real quick. James Lindsay says Joe was wrong about this, and his only way of defending it was to call the person who was right a racist. That's it. One of the biggest criticisms we saw in Kenosha from the New York Times story was that all the Democrats ever have is to say, you're a racist, you're a racist. So when Donald Trump says that critical race theory was teaching our country, was teaching people to hate our country, and Joe Biden says he's a racist, it kind of proves their point. He won't denounce Antifa, and he'll just call Trump racist. So it's really not about policy, man. I don't think it's ever really been about policy. I think Trump won the debate for one reason. The conversation is almost entirely about him. And that's what it comes down to. There's posts all over Reddit, and I'm reading. It's like, can you believe Trump said this? Can you believe Trump didn't say that? Trump. You know why they say one of the reasons Trump won in 2016 was? Because the media was nothing but Trump. I guess they're hoping that's the case. And that people are just going to say, I am sick and tired of everything being about Donald Trump. Well, blame the media for that. And so therein lies the pitfall for Joe Biden. If the idea was a vote for Biden would bring everything back to normal, I got bad news for you. That's not going to happen. I'll tell you what we need. We need a populist president, someone who understands the policies Trump is enacting, who doesn't constantly stick their foot in their mouth, who can be quicker and wittier and answer these questions better than Trump can. Now, Trump may have been the avatar of the populist right, and he represents their anger, the world's biggest FU, but he can't go up against the machine all on his own endlessly. He had a lot of advantages in 2016, and he won the Electoral College pretty well, but not the popular vote. Trump might lose this one as the incumbent because he is defending. He is in government now. You are the machine. Prove you deserve to be reelected. It's a lot harder than being the bull ramming through the door. Here's what we need. A younger, wittier, stronger populist personality who will speak to regular Americans, condemn the violence, and can answer the questions much more quickly. I'm not sure Donald Trump is going to be able to do this. I don't know if Trump is going to win. I got to be honest. I think he still might. I think what I said matters, but we're only going to be able to just wait and see for the most part. I can't tell you. We're going to wait and see what happens. November. The machine is cheating. I think so. But these people seem to think that once Biden leaves, everything can go back to normal, just like it was during the Obama years. Oh, no, it will only get worse. If you get rid of Trump and you double down on this leftist insanity, the radical left and all this craziness, you will see a regular American wave sweeping through government in 2024. So if Trump doesn't win today, I'm not convinced he'll run again. I don't think so. I mean, 4 more years, he'll be 78. That's where Joe Biden's basically at now. But maybe a Trump Jr., maybe someone younger who totally gets it. I'm not convinced it's going to be a Crenshaw or a Josh Hawley or anything like that. I think you need someone with a more demanding personality and stronger personality than they currently represent. I'm not saying they're not strong. I'm just saying where they are right now, I don't think they got those chops, right? Donald Trump, the fact that he can step all over Joe Biden is just good for Donald Trump. But he wasn't quick enough on his policy answers, and I think he might lose people. But I'll leave it there. Stick around. I got more segments coming up later today, starting at 6 p.m. over at youtube.com/TimCastNews. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all then.